Hey everybody, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well. It's Friday the 13th, so hopefully it hasn't brought anybody any bad luck. And for those of you for whom a weekend is important, thank God it's Friday, right? I'm happy to be able to report that one of the subscribers to this channel, Bill, has started his own boxing channel. Bill Knows Boxing. Bill's uploaded, I think, 4 videos so far. So go and give Bill a look and a like and a sub. Bill's a frequent commentator on this channel, and I wish him well in this YouTube adventure. Second thing, a couple of people have reached out about, joining me on a show as a guest. I love the idea of having guests, as you know. Do a regular thing with Jamie, do things with Andy from Andy's Cavern, and then there's a group of us that do every 4 or 5 weeks. And of course, I'm hoping to get Jules back on for another episode of Coach's Corner. So it's a case of kind of juggling these things, right? And obviously, there's only there is time, right? And I find myself busy and whatnot. And besides, it's kind of easy if you're just reading something and then you think, oh, I'll tell everybody about this. I've just read this. To, in my case, pop upstairs and just talk. But if you're setting up a show with somebody, then ideally you should have some sort of game plan as to how things are going to go, right? Not necessarily a script, but some sort of, general agenda and, things to talk about. Otherwise it would be kind of a crappy Zoom, right? So anyways, these things do take time. If you've reached out and haven't gotten back to you, I apologize. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that, well, life, right? And this, of course, is a hobby, talking about boxing, something I love doing, and meeting fellow fans. But of course, it is that. It's something I enjoy doing, and it's a hobby, and it's not something that sort of is a full-time gig. I wish it was, but sadly, lawns need mowing, and snow needs moving, and whatnot. Anyways, to the matter at hand. This Saturday, in fact, tomorrow, right? Yes. In Madison Square Garden Theater in New York City, Matchroom is putting on a show, and it's headlined by the IBF Super Lightweight World Title match between George Kambosos Jr. and Richardson Hitchens. Now, I'm just going to take a mouthful of water, excuse me. Now, the betting odds where I am are prohibitive. Hitchens is 1.004 maybe, like it's prohibitive. It's 8.5, I think, for Kambosos Jr. So worth putting $5, whatever. Hitchens is the prohibitive favorite. But let's just break it down, right? Kambosos Jr., 22 wins, 3 losses, no draws. Of his wins, 10 come by way of KO, and he's been stopped once as well. 5'9", 31 years of age. It's only his second outing at 140. Native, of course, of Sydney, hugely popular down under, and that's where we last saw him. We last saw him March the 22nd of this year, when he fought Jake Wiley, like a local, regional level fighter, very popular, upcoming young kid. And I think everybody was expecting George Kambosos Jr. to stop the very game Jake Wiley, whose stock undoubtedly went up. who came in at short notice as well, relatively short notice, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But anyhow, he didn't stop Jake Wiley. He won a unanimous decision. He won, I don't know, every round, right? Like it wasn't a competitive fight, but he didn't really make the statement that people were hoping he would make. Prior to that, in May of 2024, he lost to Lomachenko. No shame in losing to Lomachenko, right? He was stopped in the penultimate round. Prior to that, he won, big question mark, against Maxi Hughes. Now, and that was for the IBO lightweight championship. Now, I get the point that to be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. But I thought, well, let's just say, question mark over the decision. Maxi Hughes, I thought, had some reason to feel aggrieved by the way that fight panned out. In 2022, Kambosos Jr. had back-to-back losses against Devin Haney. I'm not a fan of Devin Haney, but Devin Haney is clearly an elite fighter. I don't like his style, right? But he's clearly an elite fighter. No shame losing to Devin Haney. In 2021, I would say George Kambosos Jr., I would say universally accepted, had his finest moment. He beat Teofimo Lopez, IBO and IBF lightweight champion. So unified champion at lightweight. Now, of course, moving up 5 pounds. Only second outing at this weight. First kind of doesn't count, right? Jake Wiley. Now, let's talk about Richardson Hitchens. New York native. So he's the hometown guy. 19 wins, no losses, no draws. Only 7 by way of stoppage. Excellent amateur, went to the Olympics, didn't medal, but hey, like he was, good enough to get to that level, right? 5'10", the naturally bigger man, like naturally a bigger frame than George Kambosos Jr. December 2024. Look at my notes. I can't read my own writing sometimes. He beat Liam Parrow. Now, he beat Liam Parrow on a split decision. But the trick with beating Liam Parrow is, of course, Liam Parrow had just beaten Subarel Matthias. So that was an excellent win. April 2024, beat Lemos. September 23, he beat Zepeda. So he's got good names, right? Very good boxer. And, it's an old adage, styles make fights. I think there's a few things going against Kambosos Jr. in this fight, to be perfectly honest. One is the style doesn't really suit him. 2, I think it's fair to say that the high water mark has been and gone with respect to George Kambosos Jr. Like, he could still beat an elite fighter. I'm not saying he can't, but if you look at the arc of a professional's career, that high point is probably already in the rear-view mirror. Could he go on? People can have Indian summers in their careers, right? But I think it's fair to say that the very best Kambosos Jr. is quite possibly not just recently behind us, but 4 years behind us. And I don't think that that's a statement that's overly controversial. I know that there are fans of George Kambosos Jr. who will say that I'm full of it, but I don't think I'm really, too off the mark here. Hitchens, 27, in, what is generally considered to be athletic, physical prime, hasn't tasted defeat, very slick, very smooth. Again, Kambosos Jr. has proven to be a road warrior in the past. He shouldn't be overly bothered by the fact that he's going into Hitchens' hometown. But they're still, that is a disadvantage. I'm not seeing this fight ending in a stoppage, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's going to go that way. I suspect it's going to go the distance. You've got the style is wrong. You've got the possibly in decline. And you've got not really a natural 140 man. I'm thinking that this is a fairly steep hill for Kambosos Jr. to climb. I'm kind of with the bookies on this one. I'm thinking points decision without any controversy for Richardson Hitchens. But I'm probably going to put $5 on Kambosos Jr. because the odds are there. There isn't any point really in betting on Hitchens. Not as a speculative flutter. If as part of a gambling strategy, he might want to be your anchor to a parlay kind of thing. But no, I'm not expecting this to be anything other than a Richardson Hitchens unanimous win. And I hate to say it, but I'm not actually expecting it to be a particularly exciting fight. I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Fingers crossed. Also on the card, I'm interested to see, I think it'll be his 8th fight of this, I was going to say young, but he's not super young, late 20s, heavyweight prospect, Terramona. I always like to see, what else is being sort of happening in the, where these prospects are going, for, young, upcoming, particularly heavyweights, kind of have a bias towards them, I suppose. Anyways, that's all I've got for the moment. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Coming in on, was it 1450 something? Wouldn't it be great to get to 1500? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And most importantly, have a fabulous day wherever you are. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.